Good morning. Well, I want to come to you again this week. Last few weeks I've been talking to you about words. And while I'm going to kind of continue on that, I'm going to take it with a different little viewpoint today. And hopefully you get it and see it. But out of Proverbs, yesterday as I was reading in Proverbs chapter 24, verse 10 really stood out to me. And it says, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Well, we're going to touch on that a little bit, but I want to also share today, in today's reading, Proverbs 25, a word fitly spoken, verse 11, Proverbs 25:11, a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. Well, I want to read to you that same verse out of the Message Bible. And this is really cool, and I think this fits for today. Proverbs 25:11, out of the Message Bible, it says, the right word at the right time is like custom-made piece of jewelry. Well, I believe that I have the right word and for you, and I believe this is the right time for you to hear this word. And it's going to be interesting, but I recently saw the movie, actually I've watched it several times, the movie called Secretariat. It's about a racehorse that happened in the 70s and early 70s, and I remember the racehorse, and I remember actually hearing about it and reading about it in newspapers. And I know some of you who are getting this encouraging word live in foreign countries, but if you can get your hands on that, if you can rent it or find the movie Secretariat, I believe it will really, really encourage you. And here's the part that I want to talk about it in this encouraging word dealing with the words that we speak. This woman, her husband, I'm sorry, I'll get it out right. Her father got very ill. Her mother died. Her father got very ill. Basically, she inherited the farm with all the horses, and she ended up with this young colt that basically was red, and so they called it Big Red. Well, you can't enter into a racing, with the name Big Red. You have to have some kind of a name. And so they were trying to come up with all kinds of names, but they ended up with the name Secretariat. Now, the interesting thing about this movie, and the reason I want to bring it out today is because it deals with a lot about what I've been sharing with you. All through the movie, I mean, from almost the very beginning of the movie all the way through, the main character, the lady, which is all based on a true story, she is told repeatedly, you can't, it won't work, it will never work, and on and on and on it goes. You will never make it. And we've got to sell the farm. We've got to, all from family, friends, relatives, everybody was always negative. You can't, you can't, you can't. But she had a dream in her heart, and she kept thinking, I don't care. One line of the movie, she said, I don't care, well, as best I can remember it, I don't care how many people tell me we can't. We are going to do this, and we're going to live rejoicing every day. And it began to just really, the last time I saw it, began to really stir my heart about the things that we say. And, some of us, God has spoken some things to us, to your heart, that He wants you to accomplish. And I'm certain the enemy using people, maybe enemy coming at you at night in the quietness, telling you it's not going to happen and it's not going to work. Well, I'm here to tell you, God is faithful. And what God has spoken to you, He will get it accomplished. And you will succeed. And all through this movie, in fact, it was really interesting. The wealthiest man in the world, is the way that the movie puts it, offered this woman $6 million for this racehorse. And she said, nope, I can't sell it. $7 million, nope, sorry. And he said, I will give you $8 million all cash today. And she said, no, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. And he makes this statement, you're that stubborn? And she said, no, I'm that right. He will do what I know he will do. And it is powerful. Well, he did win, the Secretariat, the horse, did win what is called here in the United States the Triple Crown, which is a very coveted, very difficult 3 races in I think it's 5 weeks, or maybe it's 6 weeks in 5 different states. I mean, it is a really hard thing. And the last race is a 1.5-mile course, which is, for a racehorse, a speed racehorse, it just, as they put in the movie, it's a graveyard for speed racehorses. Well, she kept saying, and in fact, the last time I saw it, I really began to break down and cry. She went up to the horse the night before, the last race, and she said this: I've come to realize something. I have already run. I did not quit. I ran my race. And then she grabbed the horse, and said, now you run yours. Well, I want to tell you, run your race. Speak to those things. And she kept talking to that horse. She kept saying to everybody, he is going to do it. We're going to win. And no matter how many negative things came at her, and, at one point her husband was even against her. It didn't matter who was against her. She kept saying, we will do it. Words are very important. And, as the way this puts it in the Message Bible, I thought was really, very, very important. And I believe that this is a specific word for probably all of us, but specifically for some of you, that you have been bombarded. Well, I want to tell you, you're going to make it. God is faithful. He believes in you. And so does Mike and Kay. We believe in you. We are praying for you every day. And we will keep lifting you up in prayer until you see that victory. And then we'll probably still keep praying for you. But I just want to tell you, you're going to make it. It is going to be fine. Run your race and keep at it. Don't let anyone, and I want to tell you, that racehorse won. And in fact, real quick, just another thing about this movie, powerful movie. The one who was challenging him the most, the 2 horses, the one owner said to his jockey, their downfall will be they're going to push their horse. We're going to rest ours. And when it's time to race, you push that horse and push it faster until it comes apart. Well, that horse took off. And I mean, Secretariat ran and ran and ran, and no one, everybody kept saying, this is catastrophe. I mean, no horse can take this. This horse is going to blow apart. That horse, to this day, in 2012, no horse has ever won the Triple Crown. Actually, the last, at the Belmont Stake there in New York, the last of the Triple Crown races, no horse has ever run it as fast or has won by as much margin as Secretariat did. And that horse went for 31 lengths. He won by 31 lengths, which means a length is how many horses. At 1 length, you're ahead of the next horse behind you by 1 horse length. 31, and the owner of the horse that was battling for this position made this statement: that's impossible. That cannot happen. Well, I'm telling you, when God does some miraculous things, other people will say, it's impossible. But with God, all things are possible. Run your race. You're going to make it. Kay and I love you. We're praying for you. We believe in you. And we're faithfully praying for you. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter about Mike and Kay's faithfulness, but God is faithful. And what He's spoken to you, He will do it. He will perform it. You're going to win your race. So keep running. Keep the faith. Keep on going, because you're going to win. And I tell you, it's going to be glorious. The victory is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, we're praying for you every day. You are blessed, which means you're empowered to prosper in every area, not just finances, but in every area. You are empowered to prosper. You're healthy, successful, and you're going to win, and you're going to make it in Jesus' name. Goodbye. God bless you. I'll talk to you next week. Goodbye now.